Well, good morning, and I'm talking to you this morning. This is Rousel Radio from Lewis, and I'm talking to you this morning from the Runaway, and that lovely chap Pavel, who come down and see his gorgeous smile first thing in the morning. A very jolly chap, very nice chap, and he's just brought me a cup of coffee. Fantastic. Now is the place to come and have coffee, and the trains apparently are on time. Yes, they are. A little bit late. This is the 6 o'clock just rolling in now, 3 minutes past 6. Oh, gorgeous coffee. But then we're a bit late too, and it is 3 minutes past 6. We still haven't quite got used to the switchover from television. It's Mirador Television at 5:45 until 6 o'clock. And now this is Rousel Radio. We normally go till 6:30, but this morning we'll only go till 20 past 6 because it's pretty lousy weather, and we want to make sure, since I have to go to London today, that there is no hold-up and that we can give ourselves just a little bit of margin of error, as it were. Let me just remind you, because we are local and we like to look at local people and push local sounds and Dandelion Charm. They come out of New Haven. It's a wonderful family, actually. It's a family of real talent, and yet, totally eccentric, but really quite normal in the sense that there is no side on them. They're lovely people to chat to. And if you ever go to one of their family lunches or dinners, for which I've been privileged over the years, you're in for a real treat. Try to get next to them. One of Mary Shorthouse's Sunday lunches is just something to really experience. Oh, we've got you probably hear a bit of noise in the background. We've got the goods train going through Lewis this morning, and it's open wagons. Can't see what's in it. But anyway, it's chuntering through and it makes a heck of a racket. So that's what we'll do, is we'll play a track first and then talk about it afterwards.
from you, and I hope your September, really hope your September is not blue, is not blue, is not blue.
Well, now that if you haven't guessed, that was Dandelion Charm out of New Haven, Claire and John, and I was talking about their eccentric family, which runs through, but they're very talented because there are three sisters. Claire is part of the folk duo Dandelion Charm. Fleur is a professional storyteller. And you say, a professional storyteller? What's that? Well, if you've ever heard any professional storytellers, it is absolutely intriguing. I mean, there are quite a few around, actually, and I know Wendy, who goes to the same church as I do, she's also a professional storyteller, and they get together and make sure that they are professional and not just amateurs. But if you ever have heard a professional storyteller, the way they tell them, as Frank Carson, the old Ulster comedian would have said, the way they tell them is just something else. So keep your eye open. If you see somebody who's on some event that's going to be a professional storyteller, go. Anyway, Fleur Shorthouse is one of them. That's her maiden name, and then the Shorthouse girls use their name Shorthouse in all their names, so you can't miss them. But then Charlotte is an opera singer, and a very good one too, and she performs in concert as well. So those are the three girls. It's keep an eye on them. And as for Dad, well, if you bump into him, you'll just have a laugh a minute. He's a terrific chap, and very interesting what's going on politically. So be very sharp if you do get to talk to him, if you're down there in New Haven and you bump into him. Unmistakable. A bit corpulent. I don't think Clive would mind me saying that. A bit corpulent, lovely white beard, a jolly. He's very interested in sailing, and actually, if we still made caps and cigarettes, he would have been great on the cover. Anyway, that's Dandelion Charm. A couple of things to tell you this morning. It's very blustery outside. I know that this goes worldwide, so I'm sure that if you're lying on a beach somewhere listening to this and saying, what's that idiot talking about? But we are broadcasting out of Lewes in East Sussex, and this morning it's very gusty, and there are warnings out that the winds could get very severe and very fierce and blow you away. It's almost got my hat this morning, and as a consequence, if you're driving or even if you're going on the trains and so on, be aware that there's quite high winds around. We've got an election coming up here in May. One of the reasons that we exist is to join forces, even albeit they are not a formal union, with the local groups that we have. On Facebook, for instance, there is, I think it's, is it called New Haven Gossip? But there's one that's New Haven Gossip anyway, let's say that. But also Lewes Present, and they all dig up little bits and pieces because they have members of the community chip in. And then the people at Lewes Eye are rather different. They focus on things that are worrying us in our community, and they are investigative journalists, and they are very good investigative journalists too. I'm full of admiration as a man who has been in the profession damn near 60 years. I can recognise real pros when I see them, and they are. Who they are, I have no idea. They're quite secretive, or not. I don't know that they are necessarily, but they don't put names up on their websites and that sort of thing. But they do a terrific job, and perhaps they're wise not to, because the pressure can come in various ways. I'm feeling it at the moment from the district council. I'm going to discuss that next week, but I want to look through all the bumps that they've sent me, because I've got 3 letters and each one contradicts the other. So I've got to figure out what it is that they're saying before I even reply to them. But of course it'll end up with them threatening to take me to court again, which they did the last time, and they backed down at the last minute. The thing is, this is just very typical, is we made an agreement on the spot. I kept my part of the agreement. I did right up until this week anyway, and they didn't. They just came out with the same soft, fluffy stuff as. It's almost like the president of the railroad who got a complaint about bed bugs in the sleeping car, and he sent a letter to the person complaining, saying, "I'm so sorry, how could this possibly have happened? We've never had such a thing before." And when the person got the letter, a memo slipped out from the chairman or the president to his staff, saying, "Send them letter D4 about bed bugs." So I think that's the same sort of situation that we have here. They just send out a letter that gives you the old buff, baffle gab and so on. And there's a 6:15 come in. Yeah, 6:15, so the train's are on time. And I think that's what happened, and they thought they would get away with it. Well, I'm sorry. No, you're under much more scrutiny now than you've ever been, because you may think that the local media has gone away, but it's not. It's developing in a new way through social media, which takes a lot of flack and a lot of criticism through social media. Now, we've got these Facebook groups where people can lay their complaints. We've got ways of communicating in text, and now we've got ways of communicating in radio and television. And that is growing. So don't think that we've gone away. We haven't, and we're going to watch you carefully. But as I was saying on the television show this morning, I was talking to a councillor from a place north of London, let's put it that way, yesterday, and he says that there is going to be a profound and dramatic change in the way that our councils are governed. So watch out, people who think that you're going to wave your magic wand and bully us and just do whatever you feel like it and give us a lot of garbage from officially and unofficially and so on. We're not the only ones targeting you. It's now got to national level. And you just behave so badly that nobody now has much trust in you. So it's on the way. Change is on the way. How soon? I'm not quite sure, but this councillor seemed to think that it was going to be quite quick. It's going to happen quite soon. I didn't get a chance really to, because we were in the company of other people, I didn't get a chance to talk to him in depth.